Hello everyone, it's Timmy2009 and I'm back with another video. Now, normally this would be a time where I start filming the aftermath of Liam and Cadence. But before I do that, I thought I'd do another model train showcase. So, you might remember in my last video I made a custom of Train Boy 17's favorite character Stepney, made from Bachmann Thomas, as suggested by Tails and Jackson Productions. But this time, we're going to do something a little different, because I've got a new model. And what model do I have? Well, this is Bachmann Devious Diesel. But this isn't the grumpy Diesel as I like. This is the smiling Diesel. And actually, this is an older style packaging, surprisingly. So, on Wednesday, we bought a Bachmann Diesel, along with some new take-along engines. Those being James from my Black James, a take-and-play Thomas to make Bartholomew, and a Murdoch that's pretty beat up, but I can easily fix that. And recently I've bought a new take-along Emily, which is the same poor condition as Murdoch, but she can be fixed as well. And I also got a new take-and-play Paxton to make a take-along Splatter, because I do have a take-along Dodge made from Take-and-Play Paxton, and I will not get a new Paxton to replace either one. So what am I going to do with Diesel here? Am I going to review him? Nope. Instead, I will be making a custom out of this. Now, before you guys freak out saying, "Oh, why would you do this? This is a perfectly good Diesel. Why would you ruin this model?" Well, I'm going to tell you my opinion on Diesel here. I am not a big fan of this happy face Diesel, because Diesel, it can be devious, but he's a pretty grumpy engine as well. Like, he can get very angry sometimes when trucks tease him. Especially when they sing that stupid song called Pop Goes the Diesel. That makes him very angry. And there are some of the things that can make him grumpy, so I will get a Bachmann Grumpy Diesel to replace this Diesel I'm going to make in a Dodge. And I will be doing a review on the Grumpy Diesel when I get him. Sorry if I'm getting tongue twisted. But I will do a review on Grumpy Diesel if I get one. But I thought I'd also get another one of these Smiling Diesels and make it into Splatter to go with Dodge. So, from looking at Diesel up close, this is not a bad model. I mean, his design is pretty accurate, but it's just the face that I'm not a big fan of. I mean, it's not bad per se, but I think Diesel would have been better if they made him grumpy, which they did, like I mentioned. So, on the back of the box, this is different from the newer style package we get today from 2017 onwards, ever since they made Rosie. So, Diesel's eyes move from side to side. Got Thomas, Percy, James, Gordon, Henry, Edward, Toby, Emily, Spencer. Excuse me. And we have these engines who don't have pictures. Mavis, Salty, Bill, Ben, Donald, Douglas. Those were the only Bachmann engines that time. I don't know what year Diesel was made in, but if you guys have Bachmann Diesel in this older style package, maybe you guys can tell me. I mean, the box says 2011. I think that's right. Sorry if I am asked that, but now, the box is pretty good for an old classic thing, but the newer style packaging is more colorful, just for my taste. And I will get a Bachmann James to make Eagle. I will get Toby the Tram Engine soon. Don't know if I might still get Edward. And I might ask for Henry for Christmas. Someone asked me in the comments to do Murdoch as well. Now, I don't know if that person asked for a take-along Murdoch or a Bachmann Murdoch. But if you guys want me to make a Bachmann Murdoch, I might get a Henry to use for Murdoch. And I think I might make Molly using James. That's what someone else asked. Don't know when I will make Kelvin and Myoc, but I will do those. Maybe. Just time will tell. But enough of me talking. Let's open Diesel up and turn him into Dodge. Now here are Diesel's instructions. So the lighters do come off, but I think we're going to cut them off Because Dodge does not have any ladders, neither does Splatter. And here's Diesel's face. And there's the chassis, which splits into a bunch of components. Makes you feel afraid to dismantle the chassis just to paint the other things. But I'm not going to dismantle Diesel when I make Dodge. But let's get an in-hand appraisal here before we actually paint this into Dodge. So from holding this in my hand, he's pretty heavier than the other models. Don't know if they put any weights on him or not, but he's pretty heavy for what he is. I mean, this body is plastic, but the wheels and the side rods are actually metal. I think the chassis might also be metal as well. So, looking at Diesel here, he isn't too bad. So let me explain what I'm going to do here. So what we're going to do to this is we're going to paint this part gray. We're going to paint the cab in the front a dark green or maybe yellow, I don't know yet. We're going to try and paint Dodge's name on, rather than using water slide decals like Plowbender Studios' Dodge. And we're going to try and remove the face here and cut off the ladders. But looking at Diesel, he looks pretty good. I'm sure the Grumpy Diesel is the same as this Diesel, but it's just the face that's different. I don't have him yet, but I'll get him one day, like I said. So, this Diesel looks pretty good. I can't wait to make Dodge. So, now that we've taken a good look at Diesel, let's see if he actually runs. Now, the box, when I first opened it up, it looks pretty dusty. So I don't know if this Diesel might work or not, but we'll see. Okay. Hold on, let me see what's wrong here. I think I might have forgotten to plug in the controller, but that's okay. Okay, that's reverse. So Diesel runs pretty smoothly, but this is the speed that I'm controlling him. So, I don't think Diesel's as fast as all the other engines, but still, he looks pretty good. I mean, this works like a charm here. Just listen to that engine. It sounds like a rocket. But anyways, Diesel works, so now let's get started. Alright, so before we actually paint Dodge, let's say that this was easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All it took was a flathead screwdriver, and this just popped off with no trouble at all. And the ladders, I had to use those pliers I used for my 3D printer to take the projects off. And these ladders came off pretty easily. So Diesel here, that's going to be made into Dodge, isn't too bad. And I also put cardstock on the front because the opening where Diesel's face is pretty large. And we want to cover that up because we're going to put a Hornby Dodge face on there. We're going to print it and then we're going to put it on there when this is painted. So we'll come back when the glue is dry and then we'll start painting. Now the painting process begins. Alright, so we're going to be painting Dodge this gray first. This is going to be on his boiler here. I don't know if that's actually called a boiler or not, because this is actually more of a diesel than a steam engine. But anyways, while I'm painting this part here, I thought I'd talk about a few things that are on my workbench. So, if you guys notice right here, this is actually a Take-Along Thomas, but this is not just an ordinary Thomas. This is actually something that is a custom. And if you guys do not know what this is actually a Take-Along Thomas painted Mediterranean blue, and it is none other than Kelvin. And Kelvin is my good friend. He always comments on my YouTube videos, which I really love. And actually, Kelvin suggested that I make him. His YouTube channel is the E2 Family. And he also suggested that I do Eagle, which I have. So, E2 family, if you're watching this, thank you so much for suggesting Kelvin. This was actually my original Take-Along Thomas that my mom got from the flea market. But now I have a new Take-Along Thomas here. So this Take-Along Thomas my mom got on eBay. It was the same thing I purchased that I got for the stuff to make Eagle, which was a Take-Along James. And I must say that this Take-Along Thomas looks so much better than the one I got from the flea market. So this Take-Along Thomas is in very good condition. Like, the previous owner took very good care of this engine. Not often do you find these in mint condition on eBay. The one thing that is really disappointing about Take-Along is how weak the paint is, because the paint chips off pretty easily. Yeah, that can happen sometimes. That's probably because of how much play that these are put through. Like, children, probably at the age of 2 or 3, play with a lot of toys that have brittle paint that can easily chip off. This is die-cast metal, for those of you who don't know what Take-Along is. Yeah. So, this part here, we're also painting gray, the underlining of the cab here. So, what else? Let's see. Oh yeah, for those of you who want to suggest a Take-Along engine, then you can only suggest the Classic series, which is series 1 through 7, along with Magic Railroad. You can also suggest an OC character, and you can even suggest an engine from the Railway series. Like, I'm in the process of making a Take-Along Croven, otherwise known as 87546. He originally was going to be painted into the Flying Scotsman at first, but then I just decided to repaint him into Croven, because I don't actually have a Spencer tender for the Flying Scotsman. What I'm going to do is get a Take-Along Gordon without a tender, and I'm also going to get a Take-Along Spencer tender and paint both into the Flying Scotsman. Now, the Flying Scotsman actually has 2 tenders, but some people just give him 1 tender. But for those of you begging me to give him a second tender when I make him, then I won't hesitate to give him a second tender just to spice him up and make him look more like the Flying Scotsman from the episode called Tenders for Henry. I didn't actually see the front of the locomotive. We actually just saw the 2 tenders he has. And then Gordon thought about having 2 tenders. And then Diesel was saying that Diesels like him don't need tenders, which is pretty funny. And what's even more funny about this episode is that Henry wanted more than 1 tender, but all he got was 6 tenders of sludge. So that's hilarious. If you guys seen Tenders for Henry. So, the first coat is dry on painted. We'll come back when this is dry, and then we will paint the green on him. We'll give him a few more coats off camera, though.